This is the best lighting I've ever gotten. Really, you should do this in the first week. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leia, and today I want to share with you 3 tips about university life and things you should do in the first couple of weeks. Really, you should do this in the first week, but I think most of us have already started school, myself included. So I'm still gonna give them anyway, because even if you don't do them in the first week, they're still really good things to do in the beginning of the semester. I'm doing my 2nd bachelor's degree right now, and I've come across my fair share of conundrums, and so I just feel like these are things I've learned along the way that I know will help other students, and that I tell to new students that I meet all the time, and they're just like, oh my god, thank you so much. So I figured they can't be the only ones, and I want to share them with you. Stick around to the end because there is a bonus tip. My first tip to you is no surprise to anyone, but this is especially helpful for you first-year students who maybe got through high school but didn't do as well as you could, but just kind of got through it. You know what I mean? I was one of those too, so I get it. But the first tip is to get yourself an agenda, a planner, whatever you want to call it. Get yourself something with the month and hopefully the weeks in it, but if nothing more, something with the months of the semester in it, and write down all of your assignment dates, all of your exam dates, all the dates, just all the dates. Because there's gonna come a point in the semester where certain things are piling up. You'll be able to tell when you have multiple things due in the same week or the same day, which is really helpful for being able to get it done and both turned in on time. It doesn't have to be super complicated. If you're familiar with the planner society or planner community rather, anywhere on any social media, it can be a little intimidating. Don't look at those things, just get the simplest planner you can if you're not used to it. You can even use your phone, Google Calendar or iCalendar, and put notifications for reminders so that you never forget those assignments. If you can't be bothered to look at a paper planner, at least your phone will notify you. My second tip to you today kind of relates to the first one, and that is to pick out all of your study times ahead of time. That might seem kind of excessive to some people because they might just study anytime that they feel like it or right before a test. But I can tell you right away, the best thing to do for yourself as a student and for the sake of your mental health is to not wait until the last minute. And one of the best ways to do that is to schedule your study times ahead of time. It just means that every day at whatever time you've chosen for that day, you're going to sit down and do some type of studying or homework, whether it be readings or taking an online quiz that you're supposed to take or studying your note cards, whatever it is, you know, Monday through Thursday at these different times, I am going to the coffee shop, I'm going to the library, I'm going to wherever I'm most productive, and I'm sitting down and I'm studying for 2 hours or 1 hour. That way, when things do come around, or God forbid you forget one of your dates, you already have some of it under your belt and you already have studied for parts of it, even if you didn't get to all of it. And then just kind of like a sub tip under that tip is to go ahead, especially if you're like in your 1st or 2nd year at your university, pick out your study spots. This is something I wish I'd realized earlier in my college career, but sometimes some study spots don't work for everybody. Some people could study anywhere, and I truly envy those people a lot. Other people, we need very specific settings, and if you're like me, you need specific settings for specific subjects, which is kind of annoying, but that's just the way it is. One of the best things you could do for yourself as far as sticking to your study schedule is to pick out spots ahead of time. That means during the first couple weeks of school, while you don't have as many assignments as you will later on in the semester, go exploring around your campus into little parts that you would have never gone before, especially if you have a big campus. Do some research, see if there's any Reddit forums for your campus to find like the kind of nooks and crannies that you don't really find out until your last year of college, and go check them out ahead of time. Just spend like an hour this week, or when you have time, just go exploring and see if they are study worthy. And then my third and final tip for you, kind of more a technical and, what's the word? More of a preventative tip than anything. That is to make sure you have money on your account for printing at your school. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Leia, that's an obvious one. But let me just explain to you why I'm giving you this tip. Last year, all throughout last semester, I ran out of ink maybe 4 weeks into the semester. So about a quarter way through the semester. And I kept saying, oh, I'm gonna go get ink. Oh, I'm gonna get it. It never happened. And I had to resort to going and printing at my library, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But one thing that could have saved me time, especially on those days that, you know, I was running late and the printer would break, etc., is to already have money on my card. Now, if you're a student who has a printer, or, you know, someone you know can print for you, that's great, but things happen. If you ever heard of Murphy's Law, I know it's the most negative thinking way, but it does happen. Murphy's Law is real. It's better to have your student account ready to go with money for printing in case you do need to print last minute, because it probably will happen. Let's just be honest. Most teachers will announce in class that printer problems are not an excuse for late work, so just be on the safe side. Just put like $5 on your account. I promise you will be thankful that you did. Now it's time for the bonus tip. So if you want to see the bonus tip, my fourth tip to you, you could go to my blog where I have the first 3 tips I just explained in a little more detail, and of course you'll get the bonus tip. My blog link is down below. So that's all for this video. I hope these tips were helpful. I know some of them are kind of a little obvious to some of us who have been in school longer, and for some of us that have been in school longer, it's not so obvious. So hopefully it helped most of you that are watching this. Thank you so much for spending your most valuable resource with me, your time, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leia, and today I want to share with you 3 tips. Really, refrigerator?